we are going to start on our backs, and I'm thinking of like a restorative fish pose with just a blanket folded up. So like nothing extreme, unless you really want to use like blocks or a bolster or something like that. But I was just thinking of something kind of along the lines of like a constructive rest, with just a little bit more of like a chest opener here. Your head can kind of rest on the floor, and I totally forgot to tell you to turn on the music, but go ahead and turn on the tunes. I stumbled across this album full of Radiohead covers by this guy, and one of them is on here, and I just was like reminded of the magic of like a really creative cover. And how that can like really change things. Even if the original song was your favorite thing, somebody else does it and it's awesome, that's great too. All right, so just settling in here on your back. Nice. You are here right now. How nice. Good. Breathing into this body that carried you through Monday, all the days before it. Good. Your breaths just as easygoing as they can be. Good. And you might decide to arrange your arms a little bit differently, maybe extending them out past your head, giving your shoulders a little bit of space, your underarms. And if you can grab a hold of your elbows, give that a go. And then just gently press your elbows into your fingertips. Nice. And notice what your jaw is doing. Good. Slide your heels over to the right with your legs extended long. You might keep yourself just as you are with your upper body kind of centered and on the blanket, or maybe you just kind of wiggle off the blanket a little bit, coming into banana, shoulders to the right. Good. Breathing deeply, feel your low belly getting some movement. Good, nice luxurious breaths here. Maybe like 5 more. Good, when you're ready, just come back through to the center, and if you still have that blanket underneath you, take it away. Pull the knees in towards your chest. Yeah, and it might be just like a knees to chest Apanasana, or maybe you want to take a full happy baby pose at this point, reaching for the backs of your thighs or for the feet. Good. Let all the muscles of your face soften just a little bit. All right, and then from here, extend your legs long, your arms overhead. You might use your belly strength to get there. Good, and clasp those elbows, or maybe you're clasping the wrists. Slide those heels over to the left. then maybe your shoulders. And take your banana pose. Good. Really let your head settle into the ground here. Soften your neck. Good. One more big inhale and exhale. And then bring yourself back through to the center. And just for a couple of breaths, cross your arms over your chest. The soles of your feet are on the floor. And you might decide to take a little rock of the knees from side to side. And while you do that, notice your upper back sort of rocking side to side as well, massaging out that space in between the shoulder blades. Good. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Let's take the hands to the lower belly and recline bound ankle. Good. Let your inner eyes soften, your ears soften. Good. And then as slow as you can go, bring the knees back up. Move really slowly. Your inner thighs might shake a little bit, but go as slow as you possibly can. Good. And when you get there, place the soles of the feet on the floor. We're going to cross that right ankle over the left knee and just drop your lower body over to the left. And then take your left hand to your right lower ribs and just give yourself a little massage there. Good. Up and down the front of the rib cage. Nice. A few more breaths. Alrighty, bring yourself back through to the center. And just for a brief moment, hug that left thigh in towards the chest. Extend that left foot up towards the ceiling and rotate the ankle a few times. Perfect. Set that left foot down. Unhook the right ankle. You might switch the knees side to side, and you might take like a bridge pose here if you want to do a little strengthening. Another option is like happy baby or feet up. Good. A few big breaths right here. Good. Let's set the feet back down and we'll just cross the other ankle over. The left ankle over the right, I think. And then drop your lower body over to the right. Good. The sole of your left foot connects to the floor. Good. And then your left fingertips massaging that lower edge of your rib cage on the left side. Good. 2 more breaths. And bring yourself back through to the center. Hug the right thigh in towards the chest. Send the foot up and rotate your ankle a few times. Good, one more breath. All right, and then just go ahead and unhook that left ankle. We're gonna keep the knees up here. You might have your knees bent or you might extend your legs out long. And then we're just gonna drop one foot down towards the floor at a time. So legs straight or knees bent. Good, and see if you can avoid the momentum of rocking your pelvis to drive the motion. See if it can really come from those deep core muscles. Good, and you might decide to pick up your head, take your hands behind your head, elbows wide. Good, one more big breath. Great, and let's set the feet back down, and we're gonna lift up into a bridge pose of your choice where we'll hang out for 10 breaths. You might decide to have a restorative bridge pose after that, belly work, giving yourself a chance to really release. Or maybe you're really working on strengthening the back of the body, especially lifting up the mid-back here. Good, a big breath in and out here. All right, and then go ahead and just take your pelvis back down to the floor. We're gonna make our way up into a standing forward fold. So maybe you're rocking up, finding a boat. Maybe you're trying to rock and stand up without using your hands. Or my personal favorite these days, rolling over, sitting up, drinking tea, standing up and folding forward. So just getting there in your own way. Good, as you find your standing forward fold, really be thoughtful in how you arrange your feet. Good, think about your knees here. Maybe they want a little bit of a softening. Good, and really, really let the head drop down. If you're holding it up at all, what does it feel like to let it be heavy? Good, and roll those shoulders around a few times. Good, or maybe you're wiggling your arms out like little noodles. Good, and then we're gonna breathe in and lift up halfway. Hold yourself here for a moment, feel the strength in the belly and the back, and then exhale and fold yourself forward. Really release. Good, a few more times, and as you inhale, drag your fingers up the fronts of your legs to your hips. As you exhale, take your hands around the back and drag your fingers down towards your ankles. Good, a few times like that, a little self-massage. Good, and then just fold forward again, perhaps taking your hands behind you and interlacing the fingers, pressing those knuckles up. Good, and start to slowly bring yourself up to standing and locate your ball. We're just gonna activate our kidney 1 point, which is like our grounding point. And it's kind of like right in the middle of the foot, right where the ball of the foot and the arch meets. So where your skin would change color on the sole of the foot. And then down in between that second and third toe web. So just kind of stepping down, maybe noticing how it feels. Good, and then when you're ready, you can just do any old thing with the ball. Maybe you're rolling your foot out. Maybe you're finding another little tender spot to step down into. Good, focus for a couple moments on the inner arch. Good. And then go ahead and just set your foot back down on the floor and stand here. And let's bring the hands together at the heart. Standing up nice and tall. And spread your toes out wide. And settle back into the heels. Alrighty. Yeah, you can take your hands back down, find your ball, and then let's locate that kidney 1 point on the other foot. So ball's more or less in the center of the foot. Good, stepping down. Good, and then just doing anything you want here. Maybe it's a nice little rollout. Nice. Go ahead and just send the ball away for a little while. Set that other foot down on the floor and come on up to the top of your mat. Good, and take your hands to your lower back, press the hips forward, standing camel. Good, and then slowly swing yourself down, forward fold. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step it on back to downward facing dog. Nice. Great, a few more moments here in down dog, maybe rocking around side to side. Maybe you shake your head out a little bit, or stick your tongue out. Good, roll forward into a high plank pose. If your wrists are bothering you a little bit, come down onto your forearms because we're all gonna end up there anyway. Good, yeah. All right, now let's all come down onto the forearms. Good, hold this here just for a moment. Really feel the crown of the head push forward and the heels press back. Good, and then just set the hips down on the floor. Let's take a Sphinx pose. Take the head and just roll it a little bit side to side. Good, or you might even spend a moment looking up and stretching the underside of your jaw. Yeah, cool. Alrighty, and then we're gonna start to play that whole thing in reverse. So tucking the toes underneath, come on back up. We're gonna find forearm plank. Good, and then bring yourself up to a plank perhaps. And back to downward facing dog. There you go. Good, as you inhale, look in between the hands. And then exhale to walk, step, or hop up to the top of the mat. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Good, wiggle those arms around, shake out those shoulders, let go of some of the weirdness. Good. Yeah, breathe in, come all the way up, reach nice and high, big stretch. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Good, breathe in, sit down into chair pose here. And you can keep your hands at the chest or you might reach them up. Good, reach the right arm back behind you, left arm forward, take your twist. Good, come on back through to your chair and then fold yourself forward over two long legs. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms down, step back to high plank pose. Good, and then just your flow through here. Maybe you want to shift back to down dog or take a chaturanga. Maybe you want to take child's or hands and knees. Good. You just sit back on your heels. Good, soften your eyes. Big breath in. Big breath out. Awesome, inhale, look in between your hands. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top of the mat. Good, inhale, halfway lift when you get there. And then exhale and fold forward. And again, just that little bit of a shake, maybe really softening those knees and just shaking the whole torso around. Just that gentle reminder to, you don't have to be rigid here. Not in this pose, not in this practice. Good. Inhale, come all the way up, reach nice and high. Take a really big stretch here. And maybe a tiny back bend as you get up there. Urdhva. Good. Hands together at the heart. Sit on down into your chair pose. Good. And maybe you're taking your twist over here. That left arm reaching back, right arm forward. Good. Come on back through chair pose. Exhale, fold forward over two long legs. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms. Step back to high plank pose. And then drop your heels over to the right. You can keep your hands on the ground, or you can lift that left hand up for side plank if you're feeling it. Good. Really thinking about the strong right side of your body here. Yeah, the whole side body. Good. Come on back through to the center. Bring the knees down. Take a child's pose. Good. As you drop the head down to the floor, maybe you're rocking a little side to side. Good. Yeah, if you want to slide through into a low cobra or an upward dog and then back to downward dog, you can. Otherwise, you're all just going to be back in downward dog. Nice. Good. In that down dog, really thinking about tipping the sitting bones up really high. Good. And then just kind of knit the sitting bones into the back of your legs. Heels are heavy. Good. Inhale, look in between the hands. Exhale, walk, step, or hop on up to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Yeah, and maybe that standing yoga mudra again. Fingers interlaced behind your back, knuckles pressing up. Yeah. Good, and then really slowly just kind of unwinding yourself. The arms reach up and overhead. You take that little bit of a back bend, or maybe it's a little bigger. Good, and then sit down in your chair shape, and you can do anything you want with the arms here. Sometimes I like to interlace my fingers and point my index fingers forward and sit down nice and low with my arms long in front of me, like I'm pointing at something. Good, sitting down really low, Kali Mudra. Good, a big breath in. And then exhale and fold yourself forward. Give yourself a little shake. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank. Good, yeah, side plank. So over to the left this time. Maybe it's just your heels. Maybe it's your right hand lifting. Okay, taking a little bit of time just to notice how the left side of the body supports you. Good. Perfect. When you're ready to come back through to the center, go ahead, set your knees down, shift back, child's pose. And in this child's pose, you might roll forward into a rabbit on the crown of your head, interlacing your fingers behind your back, pressing your knuckles up. If you're a tripod kind of person, you might go there, knees to elbows. Good. Nice, everyone. Great, and then go ahead and shift on out of this back into extended child's pose. Good, arms nice and long in front of you. Inhale, slide the heart through in between the hands. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Good, breathe in, look in between the hands. Exhale, step, walk, or hop to the top. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Good, breathe in, come all the way up, reach nice and high. Take that little bit of a back bend, and you might take your hands and kind of bring them together overhead with your elbows wide. Good, feeling the center of your back lifting. Good, and then go ahead and sit down nice and low in your chair pose, pointing those fingers forward, Kali Mudra. Good. Yeah, and then you might take the arms up and overhead with the hands interlaced like this too, if your shoulders are into it. Good, notice what happens to your jaw. Good, exhale, fold yourself forward over two long legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms and hop, step, or walk it on back and through your flow. Maybe you're taking your chaturanga. Maybe you're hanging in down dog. Good. A couple more breaths here in your downward facing dog. Inhale, look in between your hands. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top. Breathe in, halfway lift when you get there. Exhale, forward fold, give it a little shake. And as you inhale, come all the way up. You might reach the arms high, or you can take your hands to your low back again and take another kind of standing camel pose here. So your hands could be on your lower back, or you might have your fingers interlaced, kind of sliding your thumbs down your tailbone. Yeah. Good. Feel both of your feet on the floor. Look up. And then exhale and slowly just kind of melt yourself down. Soften the knees. Soften those elbows, your head and neck. Give yourself a little shake. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Step, walk, hop it back. Take your flow through. Nice. As you inhale, extend your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, step your right foot in between your hands. And let's sweep back into a reverse warrior. And as you take that right hand up, notice if your head and neck want a little support. You might take that right hand to the left side of your head. Also kind of opening up that underarm area. Good. Go ahead and let's just find a triangle pose from here, straightening out that right leg, hinge forward, bringing your hand down onto your leg or maybe a block. Good. As you find that triangle shape, really focus on pressing down into the big toe on the front foot, into the outer edge of the heel on the back foot. Extend that left arm out past your head here, nice and long. Good. And then take your left hand down to the floor to the inside of the right foot. We're going to kind of sweep it over to the left. We're going to sit down low into this half squat. Good. And here you might walk your hands out in front of you and kind of get low to the ground. Drop the head down. Good. Good. From here, you could take that left hand down to the floor, reach the right arm high, find your twist. Good. Right hand comes down. Let's kind of walk ourselves back around to the top and just find a twisted lunge here. Your left hand will stay down. The right arm's going to reach up. Good. Take that right hand down. Step it on back. High plank pose. And then perhaps you're taking a side plank over. Ooh, what's on the wood? Over to the right. I took a little slide there. Good. The left arm can reach out past your head. Good. Bring yourself back through to the center. Maybe you're dropping your knees, finding your child's pose, or rolling through your flow. Good. Extend that left leg up and back behind you from down dog. Just hold it there for a moment. Good. Bring it in between the hands at the top of the mat. Reverse warrior. Good. A nice deep bend of that left knee just for another couple breaths. Good. Find your triangle pose from here, straightening through the left leg. The left hand comes down, and then that right arm reaches up. Good. Press down into that left big toe. Notice the outer edge of your right foot. And extend that right arm out past your head. Great. Sweep the right fingertips down to the floor. We're gonna kind of sweep both of the hands over towards that right foot. Deeply bend the knee. Left leg is gonna be long. Half squat. Good. And maybe walking those hands forward here, folding into it, dropping the head down, keeping those hips weighted. Good. Great. That right hand might stay down as the left hand reaches up, finding your twist. Good. Great. As you bring that hand down, walk all the way around to the top of the mat, finding your low twisted lunge. Right hand will stay down, the left hand reaches up. Good. Great. Set that left hand down and step back, high plank pose. Great. Side plank over to the left, maybe. And just really tapping into the side of your body again, right? This is the whole support here. It's not just the shoulder, it's all the muscles. Good. Come on back through to the center and find your flow, whatever that looks like this evening. Good. A few big breaths here in down dog. Good. As you inhale, extend that right leg up and back behind you. Reach it super high and open through the hip just a little bit here. Okay, you might keep that knee bent and make some circles. You might open through the hip while keeping that right leg long and think about a big, big stretch between those right fingertips and the right foot. Good. And eventually we're all going to step the right foot in between the hands, sweep it back into reverse warrior again. Good. And then from this reverse warrior, we'll just swoop straight down into your low half squat. So that left knee is going to be bent. The right leg is going to be nice and long. Yeah, and if it's an awkward transition, just kind of like embracing it for a moment. And as you get down there, rather than folding into it, you might decide to really lift yourself up. So this could be a couple blocks under your hands. Could be your hands together at your heart, or maybe even reaching up. Or maybe you're taking Kali Mudra, pointing the fingers forward. Good, bringing those hands down. Let's sweep back around to the top of the mat. And here we're going to drop that left knee down and take kind of almost like a lizard shape. So your upper body is to the inside of that right leg. Maybe you lower the chest down. Good. And you might even consider taking your right hand to the outside of your right foot, kind of tucking your right triceps underneath that right thigh. Yeah. Good. All right, from here, let's tuck the left toes underneath. We're gonna hop that left foot in just about halfway, find a pyramid pose. And then from here, we're gonna walk those hands forward and find half moon, lifting up that left leg. Good, maybe the left hand picks up too. Good, Good, and you might consider lifting the right hand away from the floor. Maybe just for a second. Really using the strength of the right side body. Good, set the left foot down at the top of the mat, forward fold, shake it out. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms and find your flow through. Good, send that left leg nice and long behind. Open up the hip in your own way, maybe keeping that leg long or the knee bent. Some circles perhaps if you like that. Good. Alrighty, step that left foot in between your hands at the top of the mat. Sweep it back to another reverse warrior here. Alright, good. One more breath. And then swooping down into your low half squat, deeply bending that right knee. Nice. Good. As you begin to lower yourself into this, think about maybe lifting the chest up here. And yeah, it could be a balancing act. Hands to the heart, arms overhead. Yeah, our hands forward, pointing forward. Good. Go ahead and set your hands back down to the floor. Walk around to the top of the mat. Good. We're going to drop that right knee down and find a dragon pose, a low dragon. Good. Both of your hands to the inside of the left foot. Awesome. Yeah, if you want to fold into it, you can do that, or you might stay lifted. Maybe that's better. There's the option to kind of wiggle that left upper arm underneath your left thigh and place your left hand to the outside of the left foot. Yeah, that little shelf there. Alrighty, and then we're gonna come on out of this one, lifting up that right knee. And we'll hop the right foot in just about halfway, coming into pyramid. Good, feet on two separate tracks. Yeah, and hands can be to some blocks. Maybe you're maintaining a halfway lift, or you could fold your chest in towards the thigh. Nice. Walk your hands forward, pick up that right leg, find your half moon pose. Good. Yeah, right hip opening up over the left. And that right arm might reach high. And think about lifting the inside line of the right leg and the left side of the rib cage, and maybe even that left hand just for a second. Yeah, when it feels like it's time to come out of this, find the top of your mat. Give yourself a little shake, a little wiggle, whatever you need. You might feel inclined to stand all the way up and reach your arms high, take a little back bend or not. Yeah, it's totally up to you. Good. Eventually we'll all fold forward again. And as you get there, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms down, and we're all going to step back into high plank pose. All right, and there are a few different options here. So I'm thinking of maybe coming into a downward facing dog, and then moving into like a handstand kind of practice if you have that in your bag of tricks. Another thought is to drop your forearms down and then walk your toes up towards your elbows and send one foot up and the other, peacock feather pose. So if you wanted to do a handstand practice, your shoulders just come above your wrists. You take one of your feet up and just give little baby kicks. Good, but you'll kind of know when you're all set. And once that thought occurs to you, you can just settle yourself down into child's pose. Good. If you did something that was a little strenuous on your wrists, you might circle your wrists a few times. Give a little break. Good. And then from here, rolling back up into your rabbit pose, or just placing a little bit of pressure on the crown of your head. If you are an upside downer, a tripod person, a headstand person, and you feel like you want to go there right now, this would be a good time to do that. Really, I just want all of us to have that little bit of crown pressure, even if it's just your hand on top of your head. And notice how the rest of your body kind of organizes itself around the top of your head when you're in this shape. Notice your shoulders, your jaw. Good. And then coming on out of this back into your child's pose, extend your arms out nice and long in front of you. Good. Slide the heart through in between the hands. We're going to take maybe a locust pose here. So interlacing the hands behind your back, lifting up the chest, and lifting the feet too, if that suits you. And a strong back of the body. Good. As you exhale, bring yourself back down to the floor. Take the hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes underneath. And then just start to press yourself up through plank pose using your knees or maybe not. Good. Coming back into downward facing dog. Yeah, shake the head out just a little bit. Good. Send your hips side to side. Good. Extend that right leg up and back behind you and open through the hip. And you might decide to flip your dog around here. Maybe you want to take some circles again or bring your knee into your nose a few times. Awesome. Good. Eventually you'll step that right foot through in between your hands at the top of the mat. Good. We're going to take an extended side angle pose, and a block might be a nice idea here. Taking your right hand down to the inside of that right foot. We're going to wrap the left arm back behind. Good. And maybe there's like a whisper of a bind here. Maybe your hand's grabbing your shirt or your pants, your right hand. Good. Maybe you're using a strap or something. Good. Let the head be nice and sturdy here, crown pressing forward. And then just a thought, maybe you want to step that left foot up to the top. Come into this sort of like bound chair situation. Yeah, and then there's always bird of paradise if you're feeling up to it. That left foot will stay down and maybe you start to lift the right foot away from the floor. Ooh. Eventually you'll just settle yourself into the standing forward fold. Oh, let the head drop down. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step it on back, high plank. Good, rolling through your flow. Good, and coming down into child's pose again, arms nice and long in front of you. Maybe you're folding at your elbows and taking your hands to the back of your head or to your upper back or your neck. Good. Notice the space between your elbow and your hip. Good. Extend those arms out long in front of you again. Slide the heart through in between the hands. And you might find a locust or a bow pose, reaching the hands back for the feet, or really anything you want. Maybe it's a sphinx or like a seal pose. Your hands pressed into the floor, you lift way up. Good. Deep breath in, and your exhale will bring you down. Take your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes underneath. And think about engaging the thighs, the knees up, your low belly up, pressing up into plank pose. Good. And then back into downward facing dog. Open that left foot up towards the ceiling, lift it high. Yeah, maybe you're flipping your dog around here, or bringing your knee to your nose a couple times, or taking those circles. Good. You'll step that left foot through in between your hands at the top, coming into your extended side angle pose. Your hand down onto the block maybe, or yeah, your elbow to your thigh. And then wrap that right arm back behind you. Good. Maybe you're taking that left arm underneath your left thigh, or maybe just kind of hanging here with that right arm behind your back. Nice. If the bind is available, feel free. Yeah, and then maybe that right foot begins to take a little hop up to the top of the mat. This is never graceful, I feel, at least for me. It's always like an awkward shuffle. Yeah, maybe you press down into the right foot and pick the left foot up. Maybe it's a dream. Yeah, and then when you're done, you know it. Step that right foot forward, give your shoulders a really good wiggle, give your head and neck a really nice little heavy shake. And inhale, come all the way up, reach nice and high. One more time. This is the last time we're gonna stand up this practice. Good. And then fold yourself forward over two long legs. Inhale halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank pose. Good. All right, if you really want like a last flow, you're certainly welcome to it. Maybe you're dropping the knees, pressing back into child's pose. Eventually, we'll all be back in child's pose. Good, and I'm going to offer up another back bend. Could be you coming to stand up on your knees and taking a camel pose like that. You might decide to come back onto your belly and take another locust or a bow pose, a sphinx or a seal, upward dog. Eventually, we're all going to move to our backs, I think. So if you want to take a bridge pose, we could do that as well. Nice. Good. If you're up in your camel, shift out of that, come back into your child's pose. Awesome. Maybe you want to find your belly and then roll over onto your back, or maybe you're more of a down dog and bringing your feet to the top of the mat and then coming to sit down and roll down kind of person. And however you need to get there, just get there. And I always find when I come to my back, it's just like an intuitive thing that happens. Like some days I know I need my knees in, other days I know I wanted to stretch my legs out. And so taking a moment just to be wherever you need to be here as you find your back. And so that you can feel connected to the ground underneath you. And focus on really letting yourself become heavy. Nice. All right, if you are a legs up the invisible wall person, you can send your feet up. If you like shoulder stand, that's a thought too. Or just constructive rest with the soles of your feet on the floor, giving yourself a break. Yeah, if you found your shoulder stand and you want to find plow, toes overhead, you could do that. Or a snail pose, dropping your legs down towards your chest when you're in legs up the wall. And slowly start to roll yourself on out of this inversion. And then out into your twist on whichever side you want to begin with first. And scooting your hips, your shoulders, and just kind of like wiggling yourself in here. And recognizing where you might want a little support, a little extra padding. Nice. Let your breath be whatever it is. Good. Another 5 deep breaths here. Good. As you bring yourself back through to the center, just do the thing that feels right. Maybe stretching both your legs long or sending your feet up or bridge, knees to chest. Nice. And your twist on the other side whenever you feel ready to get there. Give yourself that like loving little wiggle. And shoulders and hips exactly where they need to be for your body. There might be something in between your knees if your low back needs support. Good. A couple more breaths on this side. Perfect. And with as much ease as possible, slide yourself into your last pose. And making sure you feel cozy and supported. And yeah, this could be any shape. Maybe you're curling up on your side, rolling onto your belly or something. Wherever your body feels most at peace. Good. Let your breath get just maybe a little bit deeper. Good. Notice your fingers and your toes and your wrists and your ankles, and just start to wiggle around those little joints. Yeah, you might stretch the arms overhead or pull the knees into the chest. It's taking a few moments to really wake up again in a gentle way. Good. And when you're ready to come up into a seat, you can do that any way you like. Awesome. Let's sit up nice and tall and to stretch our arms out to the sides and maybe even a little bit back behind us, and lift up the center of the chest. Maybe even drop your head back for a second, look up. Good. And then exhale and bring your hands to sit on top of your heart. Good. Drop the head down. Honoring this time you spent practicing and honoring each other too. Oh, yay. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming tonight. Stay warm. It's good to see your face.